Hey everyone. So I'm making a video log in Africa, in Uganda. This is my first morning in Uganda, in Africa. It's 7:50 a.m. I woke up at 7:30 and I'm American, middle class, not crazy rich or anything, just middle class in America. And in America, we have certain standards. And so when I came here to Uganda, to Africa, I had been living in Turkey for, I don't know, about 3.5 months. So Turkey has certain standards. And for some reason, you have expectations about what it's going to be like. And when you get there, you kind of balance the expectations you had with how it is. And I think the secret to happiness in life and happiness here in Uganda and Africa is to not have expectations. And I'll tell you why. When I got to the airport, one thing I noticed was that I guess I would say it's a kind of a poor airport. And especially coming from Istanbul airport and Doha airport, which are really fancy and expensive. The Entebbe airport in Uganda is very poor. And so the baggage claim didn't have like digital signs. I noticed the signs were like these letters that you change by hand. So I noticed that the airport was kind of poor. And then when I first got on the airplane, there were a lot of Africans and not too many foreigners, from Doha to Entebbe. And I was thinking, all right, so this is my first taste of Africa. And then at the airport also, not too many foreigners, just a little bit, mostly Africans. They had the military there. We did this COVID thing. The COVID test, it was 30 US dollars or 110 Uganda shillings. They needed a yellow fever vaccine. I had to get a negative PCR test before I came. I had my vaccination card, 2 shots of Pfizer. Before I came here, I had to go to this like website and fill something out. Before I came, I had a little card to fill out where they wanted like the address you're staying, the phone number of your kin. I probably should have saved that for you guys. But at the airport, the good news is after you take the COVID test, you can just leave the airport and they'll give you the results by text or email or something. So they said that you used to have to wait at the airport, or they would take you to a hotel where you would wait like maybe 3 hours to get your COVID test, which is a nightmare. But yeah, the airport was pretty smooth. Just make sure you have all the documents, make sure you fill out this little online form before you go. And yeah, I flew Qatar Airways, and Qatar Airways, it's probably the cheapest, but one of the worst airlines. I mean, some of them are rude. They don't tell you need to fill out the form in advance. They double charged me. I was overbooked. I had to go to Turkish Airlines. Yeah, you get what you pay for with Qatar Airlines. I wouldn't recommend it, but it is the cheapest. And then on the plane from Doha here to Entebbe, they didn't have somewhere to charge your USB. They had these like uncomfortable headphones that hurt my ears. And then you had to like change the screen to watch movies. It wasn't touch screen. So that wasn't good. But then the food was okay, and there were a few friendly stewardesses on the plane. They gave me like an extra dessert and snacks, and was nice. They even had a free like beer and wine. Couldn't believe it. It was nice, even though I don't actually drink. So, so when I got to Entebbe, to the airport, I was talking to some people. I talked to this woman. She gave me a bottle of water for free. She was real friendly. And The immigration was pretty friendly. I probably should show you in this video, but I got like a 3-month visa. I paid like 50 US dollars with my credit card plus $1.50 of fee. So I paid $51.50 US to get a 3-month visa in Uganda. I didn't go for the East Africa visa, which I think is $100. I think that lets you go to Uganda, Kenya, and I don't know, maybe Tanzania, some third country. But I got the 3-month visa because I figured, well, it's cheaper and I'll just stay in Uganda for 3 months and then travel. So we'll see if that's right. Even though someone recommended getting the East Africa visa because then you can travel around. And I don't know how much a visa would be to Kenya, so we'll see. But I met Laura, and she's from the UK, and her husband, Nicholas, and their 2-year-old son, Phoenix. They picked me up at the airport, and I was so happy that they were on time because my flight in total was 21 hours. I was at the Doha airport for 11 hours, and it was brutal. Having an 11-hour transfer at an airport is brutal. And so I went, so they picked me up at the airport, and then we drove. I think I got to the airport at 5. They picked me up at 5 something, like 5:30 maybe. And we didn't get here to I guess I'm in Jinja right now. We didn't get here until like 12:30. Okay, so that's like what's that, 7 hours. So we were on the road for 7 hours because the car broke down a couple of times, I think from overheating, and they needed to pour water. I don't know what happened, but you know, having cars break down a lot and waiting is very hard. It's very tough. And in America, you know, I always had like good cars that never broke down. So that's something that you really have to get used to, is cars breaking down. It requires patience and not getting angry or upset. And then at one point, when the car breaks down, these random people from the street will come up and just sort of start helping you with the car, and then they'll want money. And I think they wanted like 20,000 shillings. I'm not sure. And I don't know how much that is. Maybe it's like $5. I still need to get used to the Uganda shillings. I know 300,000 is like $85, and 1,000 shillings like 28 cents. So maybe like 20,000 shillings is $5 or something. I don't know. So I think 2 guys were helping, and maybe it was like $5 for both, not each. And we were there, and it started raining, and the windows of the car were down, and Laura and Nick like just let water come in the car. They didn't care. And it was so funny because I had no idea what kind of room I was gonna get and this and that, and I didn't know if it'd be furnished or whatever. It turns out the room's not furnished. There's a bed and a table in the room, but basically that's it. There's no couch, there's no kitchen. Yeah, I'll show you the room later, but these are the sheets for the bed, and when I say sheets, I mean sheet. There's one sheet for the bed, but Uganda's pretty warm, so I guess one sheet is all you need. And in the car, the rain was getting all over this sheet, and I didn't know it was my sheet, and I was like, oh, the rain's getting on their sheets. And then he put the sheet on my bed, and it was like wet from the rain, and I was like, oh, that was my sheet. So when the rain was coming in the car, getting the sheet wet, it was my sheet. And if I knew that was my sheet, I would have been like, no, stay dry. Oh my God. And then we were sitting in the car, and, you know, I ate on my flight, but I was hungry. And I was like looking around. I saw some food on the street. These 3 women and their kid were like sitting on the street, and they were like making corn, which I guess they call maize. And I was like, oh, I love corn. I'll get some corn. So Laura like had some like mobile money, and she went and like withdrew some money, and she got some corn, and it was my first food in Uganda was this maize, and I was like, and it was super chewy. They didn't boil the corn in water. They just like put it on some fire, and it was like burned on the top, and I was like, wow, it was like the gym for your mouth. It was like super chewy. I was like, oh my God, this is like really chewy, but it was all right. Nick got me a bottle of water, and later we had some bananas. These bananas were like cooked on a fire. I think it's called like goju. I can't remember. It was so funny because I asked Nick, I was like, what is this? He's like, goju. And I was like, what's that? And he said, goju. It was just, they're just like cooked bananas. They're a little bit sweet. I had 4 of them. They were okay, but man, they could have used some sauce. Some kind of honey Dijon creamy sauce to dip them in. Like those bananas could use some sauce. Where's the sauce? You know? And then yeah, the car broke down a few times, but we eventually got here, and man, I was looking out the window, and I'll tell you, in my first time in Uganda, in Africa, some things I noticed. And the reason I came here was because of Sabbatical on YouTube. So shout out Sabbatical for making these videos in Africa, because as an American, all I knew about Africa was these little snippets from the news, you know, like I saw Blood Diamond with Leo DiCaprio, and you know, I saw like these things with these poor kids with the big bellies, like for donating. They're like, donate to these poor kids in Africa, you know. But and I know that my aunt and uncle went to South Africa on like a safari trip. But in terms of like and I know Egypt is in Africa. I even thought when I was a kid, Egypt was not in Africa. I thought it was like in the Middle East. But like technically, Egypt's in Africa. And I remember when I realized that, I was like, oh my God, Egypt's in Africa. So I don't know, but I have a feeling that a lot of Westerners have a very limited knowledge of Africa. They probably don't know many countries, and they probably don't know almost anything about Africa, just a tiny bit. And a lot of Westerners probably think that Africa is like super, well, I have no idea what they think, but they might think certain things like Africa is super poor, maybe it's dangerous. I'm not really sure. But anyways, it's important to not just go with, you know, the media and what you've heard, but to go to Africa. People always want to go to like Europe, maybe Asia or whatever, but I don't know why, but for some reason I always wanted to go to Africa. Just part of this like need for adventure, experiencing other cultures that are different from mine. And Africa to me seemed like the Wild West, like an adventure, like the new frontier, you know? I've heard some people say that they traveled the whole world and then they wanted to go to Africa and see the safari and these big animals and lions and, you know, stuff like that. For me, I'm not here for safari and animals and seeing that stuff. I'm here for the Africans. I want to meet people and talk to them and make friends, get to know them. And so that's what I'm doing. It's my first morning here. And I want to show you guys the view a little bit. Okay, so you can see that this is my, oh, I don't want the camera to fall. Okay, whoops. Okay, so this is my my little bed with the one sheet, and you can see outside here. I don't know how well you can see this, but in a way, this is kind of just how I thought it would be. There's some sort of like maybe corn, maybe that's corn growing, and some like dirt roads. A lot of people I've seen in Africa, maybe not a lot, but some people have like, they carry stuff on their head. We don't really do that in the United States. In Turkey, I never really saw that either. But in Africa, a lot of times they carry stuff on their head. You can see there's a lot of dirt out there. And there's some like little cottages. It's very green. You've got this, you can't see it here, but you got this, oh yeah, you can see, you got the sun there. And, some water, and I don't know if those are mountains. Maybe that's Lake Victoria, actually. Nick said yesterday, you want to go to Lake Victoria? You can see it. And then, what else is this? Okay, there's a curtain over there. I'll show you, try not to go too fast. I'll show you this wooden door, the handle. There's a lock and key. They have the same thing as Turkey, where inside there's no lock to turn. You can only lock it with the key from inside. But they do have two keys. I'm gonna show you this. There's two keys. In Turkey, they always give you only one key. All right, so there's the door, and then I'm gonna go in here, and you can see that I'm using my jacket as a towel, because here they have no towels, so I might have to buy some. And then we've got the bathroom here. Now the toilet, it doesn't really work. I'm really glad that there's toilet paper. I was happy. But this toilet paper, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's probably the lowest quality, cheapest roll of toilet paper I've ever used. So that's the toilet paper. And the sink, the water is working. I have not tried the shower. Oh yeah, the water does work. Hopefully it's gonna get hot. You can see that there's a shelf up there. It's hard to reach, but there's a shelf. Okay. And then I'm gonna go into the main room. Now you can see that this room here, this is the room. And then you can see over here, you're gonna have a balcony, okay? So this is the balcony. I think there's a little animal in there. I can see something's moving. I don't know what that is. I think there's an animal in there. And yeah, I don't know if you can see this very well. I'll make videos later, but there's someone's walking around in the dirt. I don't think she has shoes on. And then it looks like they're cooking, making something. Some people walking around. It's very green and lush, like a jungle. We have a little shelf there. And there's a string up here. I bet you that this string is if you want to dry your clothes, which is really great because, see, they have another string up here. Because when I was in Turkey, they never had a string to dry your clothes. You had that clothes rack. And you can also see up here in the door, there's a space there. So the sound is probably coming in and out. It's gonna be a bit louder. I don't know why they put a space up there. Maybe they want it to be louder. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. So, what else was I gonna say? Oh, it's a really long video here. So then, in Africa, one thing I noticed, I think we drove from Entebbe through Kampala. There was this district in Kampala called Mukona or something like this. And the traffic wasn't too bad. It was Saturday, we started at 5:30. So we took this expressway, and man, on the expressway, it was like 5,000 Uganda shillings, which I think is like $1.50. And Nick, I think maybe he didn't have any cash. He didn't have like 5,000 shillings cash, which is like $1.50. I didn't have any cash shillings either, just US dollars. I had In terms of Turkish lira, I had I only have 2 or 3 lira, which is really good because, um, I don't want to be having Turkish lira because I don't want to go back to Turkey ever. So, what else? So we we had some drama there. We talked to this security guard with a big gun. The expressway has 2 security guards with big guns for the expressway. I'm like, why do they have security guards with big guns for the express? I don't know why. Um, but we had to pay him double, 10,000, which is like $3, and then he went to the booth and paid 5,000 shillings, $1.50, so we could pass on the expressway. And I guess the expressway didn't used to charge, but now they charge, and they don't take like mobile money or something. They have some different system. You have to get some special card. So if you don't have cash on the expressway, just be prepared to pay the security guard double. Oh my God, or use their special system or something. But that saved us some time. And then what I noticed, like the videos from Sabbatical, please check out his channel about Africa. He's making these great, amazing videos. He's a cool guy. Is that there's a lot of dirt roads. Now this is a big deal. I saw a few people with flashlights or torches or the light on their phone when they're walking, because there's not a lot of lights, and the dirt roads have, sometimes if it's raining or there's water, there's like water and it's dirty and you can't see. And this is like a big deal. And so having dirt roads without lights, you're gonna need a flashlight or a torch or the light on your phone when you're walking so that you can see. So please be aware of that. I'm probably gonna have to buy a flashlight because I don't want to use the light on my phone and run out my battery and stuff. And so there's a lot of dirt roads. I mean, the roads we drove on were mostly paved. There was one road that was dirt and it had these big bumps, and we were going, woo. But mostly the roads we drove on were paved. But we had a 4-wheel drive car. I had a friend from Ghana who told me that in Africa everyone has a 4-wheel drive car. I mean, it's not true, but there's a lot of them, and it's probably better to have a 4-wheel drive car because there are some dirt roads and there are some big potholes. There was one when we were turning and we were like, doo, 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 doo. It was like a roller coaster. So I recommend having a 4-wheel drive car, Jeep or whatever. And then oh my God, there was like the traffic was crazy, like what you might imagine in a, I don't know if you could say underdeveloped country, or I don't know the right word for it, not as developed country, where the traffic, there's like these motorcycles, they call them bodas, people walking, cars like almost hitting each other, and like it was like a jungle, like crazy traffic. So, in the United States, we're having these stoplights, and it's fairly normal. But, countries like India, Vietnam, and Uganda, like Kampala, like it's like another level of this traffic, just like choo 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 choo. It's like, whoa, you have to prepare yourself. And they're driving here, like in the UK, they're driving like on the right side, and they're, that you get in the car, the steering wheel is on the right side, and then when you're going like straight, you're on the left side. So it's like not like it's the opposite from the United States. It's on the other side, like maybe the UK or something. You got to be aware of that in Uganda. I had no idea. I wasn't sure. And then there was like, so the traffic's crazy, and the pollution, the smog, man, it was like all the cars are polluting. These trucks are like this exhaust. In Kampala, man, the pollution was tough. I was coughing. My eyes were like a little bit irritated. Not like, I wasn't like crying eyes from pollution, but I was like, man, this pollution is tough. It's tough. I remember Bangkok had a lot of pollution. Vietnam had some pollution. But, you know, here in the States, we're like, sometimes you'll find a car with this exhaust. And I used to call on the phone and report this car. I would call 1-800-SMOG and I would put in their license plate. I would report the car because it didn't happen often. But oh my God, these trucks and cars, the pollution in Kampala when I drove through was so thick. You could see it. You could see it. But I don't know, because now it looks kind of foggy. And so maybe it's just Africa, right? So I don't know if that was pollution or if that was just like fog in Africa. But I do know that I could see trucks, especially, more than cars. Cars too, whatever, but I could see the exhaust pipe from the trucks going. It's like unhealthy, like killing, like murder pollution. I was like, oh, damn. Yeah, that pollution, that's really tough. That's really tough because that is not good for you. I remember I saw this truck doing all this pollution, and then in front of us, this Prius cut us off. And I think it was the first Prius that I saw, like electric hybrid Prius. And I was like, oh my God, I saw a Prius. You know, because in America, in San Francisco at least, Bay Area, there's tons and tons of these electric cars, Prius, Tesla, electric Tesla. They're all over, you know. I remember I saw the first one, I was like, oh, okay, electric, all right. What else did I want to say about my first time here in Africa, my first morning? I got in the airport at they said we're getting there at 4:20 p.m. So I got in the afternoon, late afternoon. Now it's like maybe 8:20 a.m. or something. And everything's fresh on my mind, you know. We just got in the car, we drove here. I'm here, I haven't like really walked around yet or anything. So it's not like I'm like truly experiencing. It's less than 24 hours here in Uganda, in Africa. But I'm trying to keep this video short. What else can I say? I don't know. I have an open mind, and the fact that the room is, you know, sparse. You know, it's not furnished. You know, the toilet doesn't work. The toilet paper is very thin. There's no towel. Nowhere to really put my stuff. I guess I'm just gonna open the suitcase on the floor. And I'm going to pray that hot water works in the shower, because when I was in Istanbul yesterday at this cheap hotel, it was less than $15. The hot water wasn't working, so I couldn't take a shower. So I've been traveling dirty. Oh my God, traveling dirty. So I really hope that the hot water works in the shower, and then I'm gonna use my towel. You can see this. My jacket. There's gonna be my towel. I could ask Nick and Laura if they brought any towels, but if not, that's gonna be my towel. I'm gonna take a shower. I brought my own soap. I don't know if they have soap or not. And then I'm gonna take a shower. I have no idea what we're gonna be eating for breakfast. That'll be a surprise. First breakfast in Uganda, Africa. And then I really want to get some data, because last night I came back, I went to sleep. I was gonna take a shower, but I was so tired from 11 hours layover in the airport. Oof, brutal. I was in this quiet room, and these people were like talking in there. Everyone's talking in the quiet room. And even when people are sleeping, like they don't care. And I was gonna say to them, like, I'm trying to sleep. Can you please stop talking? Have some respect, you. But whatever, I didn't say anything, and I just tried to sleep, and luckily they left. But when those talkers left, I was like, oh, thank you so much for leaving. You. I was going to say you, but I didn't. But it was really hard to sleep in the so-called quiet room in the Doha, Qatar airport. Actually, the seats are uncomfortable too. But yeah, so I think I got a pretty good sleep. I woke up at 7:30. I went to bed at 12:30, so that's about 7 hours. So yeah, so fairly enough sleep. I'm gonna try to take a shower. We will probably go to Lake Victoria. That's what Nick said. Man, I can't wait to get some data, some internet, so I can connect with friends and family. Get some data, internet, and I need to get some money. I just have some U.S. dollars, and I have my Charles Schwab ATM card, which please work. I'm gonna put it in the ATM. I'm gonna put my little PIN code, and I'm hoping to get some Uganda shillings. And gosh, I hope I can get some Uganda shillings with my Charles Schwab ATM card, because if I cannot, I don't know, I'll have to use like Western Union. I used Western Union, that was working. I don't remember what the rate was, but I'm gonna be in trouble if my Charles Schwab card's not working. 3 months here, like, what am I gonna do to get that money? I didn't bring that many US dollars. I think I had like $210, and I spent $30 at the airport for a COVID test. So that's not gonna be enough. Anyways, that's it for now. I know it's a long video, and maybe I'll be the only one that ever watches it, or the whole thing at least. But I really wanted to get all my thoughts down. I don't know if I'll do any vlogs or not, but yeah, if you're ever curious about coming to Africa, I've just been here a short time, less than 24 hours, so I can't tell you you should or shouldn't come, because I've just been here a short time. But I can tell you that I'm happy I'm here. I do, wish that the car didn't break down. I wish there was less pollution, less traffic, that all the roads were paved, that my toilet was working, that the apartment was furnished, and all this. But, you can't have everything in life, and experiencing different cultures and different standards or levels is good for you. It's good for you because it's really hard to appreciate all the luxury that you have if you never experienced lower standards. I remember Ramon, he's like African American, but he was born in the States, and he's black, and he went to Africa, and he said when he came home, he was just happy he had a bed. On YouTube, I saw this little hut. Someone was living in the countryside in Africa, and they showed their hut, this small hut, and the dirt floor, and there was no bed, no furniture, there was nothing. So they probably were sleeping on some mat, if they have a mat, on the dirt floor. Here, I forgot to tell you, there is power. You can see this outlet. Actually, I'm really lucky because in Turkey, I had this adapter with these little holes. These little holes, these two little holes. And here in Africa, it has like these three lines. And I didn't buy an adapter, but I took my Turkish adapter and I shoved it in, shoved it in. And it worked. So this is another thing you'll notice about Africa. Shout out to Thailand. Is there's a truck. I don't know if you can see this truck. I'm not sure you can see it, but there's a truck here, and it's like 8 something in the morning, and it looks like maybe they're selling some food. Okay, there it is. There's the truck. Looks like they're selling some food or something, but it's really loud, and it might wake you up. So if you are a light sleeper, in Africa, you probably need some earphones, and you might need some really good earphones. I remember when we were driving, there was this truck advertising for a concert really loud, and I don't know if there was someone with a political party, but I'm prepared for a level of noisiness. A level of noisiness. Like, that sounds like two cats fighting. You can hear that? Or maybe a rooster. I don't know what that is, but if you want super quiet and peaceful, I'm not sure that this is really going to be the place for that. I don't know how often that truck comes by. I don't know if it's every morning. But if I was sleeping, it might have woke me up. There's your alarm clock. But what can you do? I mean, I think mostly when that truck was going by really loud, like nobody was bothered, nobody cared. If it's noisy all the time, you just kind of get used to it. And maybe it doesn't bother you as much. But anyways, there's my almost 40 minutes, first time in Africa, less than 24 hours. What's fresh on my mind. And I haven't really gone outside either. Like when we were in the car and we were stopped, I didn't really get out of the car. I didn't feel like getting out. I was tired and I don't know. I didn't get out of the car. I just stayed there. We were there for, I don't know if it was 20 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour. I didn't actually keep track of time. I had my phone off, save battery and stuff. I didn't have data anyways. But yeah, I mean, my first impression, I wouldn't say it's good or bad, positive or negative. I've just been noticing things. I noticed some positives. I noticed some negatives. And I got an open mind. I'm gonna give it a shot. Try to stay positive. Hope that the hot water's working in the shower. Use my jacket as a towel. I guess we'll go to Lake Victoria today. Try to get some data. Hope to find some good food. And just try to make the best of it, you know? I think today's Sunday. And then tomorrow on Monday, I might start with the volunteering, teaching English. With Laura, we didn't really discuss the details. She owes me like $38. And she didn't say anything about it, so I hope she gives it to me. I'll have to ask her. But yeah, that $38 in Ugandan shillings is going to be real useful. So I'm just really hope my Charles Schwab card works. And yeah, I'll keep you guys informed. I'll let you know. And I can't upload this, of course. I have no data. So once I get data, I will be uploading this really long video. Whew. Hope that doesn't cost a lot of data. I hope data's not expensive. All right. See you guys.